Okay, so get ready to unlock the secrets of persuasive writing, because today we are diving deep into the AWI method.
Excellent.
You shared some excerpts from their copywriting course,
Yeah.
and we are so excited to break it all down,
Yeah,
help you absorb all that wisdom, and most importantly, apply it to your own writing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to be pulling from several different lessons within the AWAI method,
Okay.
covering really just the fundamentals,
Perfect.
understanding your audience, and then ultimately crafting that compelling copy that gets
Yes.
results.
I love it.
Yeah.
I've always loved how much they emphasize truly knowing your prospect.
Yes.
There's so much talk about avatars and target demographics these days.
Right.
But AWAI takes it a step further.
They do.
Right.
Instead of getting lost in the sea of data, they encourage you to find a real person.
Oh.
You know who embodies your target audience?
Okay.
Someone who would genuinely benefit from what you are selling.
So instead of picturing this vague group, you're writing a heartfelt letter to one specific person.
That's it.
That's genius.
Yeah.
I can see how that would instantly make the writing so much more personal and engaging.
Precisely. It helps you to ditch the jargon and the cliches because you're speaking directly to someone you care about.
Right.
And remember, people don't like being sold to, but they love to buy.
They do love to buy.
Yes.
It's about guiding them towards a solution that they already crave.
Yes.
AWAI gives that great example of the golfer who was ready to buy new clubs, even though his old ones were perfectly fine.
Right.
Which I totally relate to.
Do you like the iPhone? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I have to have the latest smartphone, even though mine works perfectly well.
Every year there's a new one.
I know.
Right.
It's that desire, that emotional pull
That's it.
that your copy needs to tap into.
That's what you need to tap into,
They
exactly.
call it selling to the heart, not the head.
They do.
I love that.
Think about a time that you were excited about a purchase. Chances are, logic took a back seat to that initial feeling.
Always.
Yeah.
You're right. I've definitely been there.
Yeah.
And that's where their 4 Ps come in.
Yeah.
Promise, picture, proof, push.
It's a good one.
It's such a simple formula, but it's so powerful.
Yeah.
And it really does keep the reader hooked from start to finish.
Absolutely.
Speaking of keeping readers hooked,
Yeah.
AWAI is also big on the power of one. Can you tell us more about that?
So they emphasize having one clear, compelling idea
Okay.
that resonates throughout your entire piece.
Okay.
Think of it as a golden thread that connects your headline, your examples, your call to action,
I love that.
everything.
The golden thread.
The golden thread.
love it.
Yeah.
So it's about having that laser focus.
Yes.
And making sure every single word contributes to that one core message.
Exactly. So let's say, for example, you are writing copy for a new productivity app.
Okay.
Instead of listing every single feature,
Right.
focus on that one key benefit that will resonate most with your audience.
Okay.
Maybe it's helping them reclaim their time or reduce stress.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
Right.
That benefit becomes the driving force behind your copy.
That makes a lot of sense.
Because I can see how that kind of focus would make the writing so much more impactful.
Absolutely.
And speaking of learning from the best, I love their idea of building a swipe file.
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's a gold mine. Inspiration.
I think so too.
You're not reinventing the wheel. You're just making it roll smoother.
I love that.
And by analyzing what worked for others, you can adapt and apply those techniques to your own writing.
It's like having this library of
Uh-huh.
successful marketing materials
You got it.
right at your fingertips.
Like your fingertips.
But even with a swipe file full of inspiration, we all need feedback,
We do.
right?
Yes.
And AWAI had some interesting advice on getting feedback.
Okay.
Something I know a lot of writers, myself included, sometimes we dread it.
Yes, we do.
They really promote CUB reviews
CUB reviews.
and focusing on clear, concise,
Actionable.
and actionable critiques.
Love it.
Can you elaborate on that a bit?
So it's not about personal preference, but objective feedback.
Okay.
Instead of just saying, I don't like this, a CUB review would focus on, is the message clear? Is it compelling? Is it believable?
I like that.
Those are the questions that matter.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's about getting to the heart of what makes the copy effective,
Exactly.
regardless of personal taste.
You got it.
That's really helpful.
And when you are on the giving end of that feedback, start by asking, is the message clear?
Okay.
Before suggesting specific rewrites that way, you are addressing the core of the copy first.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that stood out to me was AWAI's emphasis on research.
Yeah.
And not just about the product itself,
Right.
but also your audience and even the competition.
The competition, yes.
Do you have any tips for making research more engaging and less daunting? Because it can be a little overwhelming.
It can be.
Yeah.
Think of yourself as a detective.
Okay.
Uncovering those hidden gems that make your copy sing.
I like that.
Remember that story about the copywriter who found a major selling point for a veterinary equipment company just by researching the benefits of welding over screwing? I mean, how random is that?
It's so true, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's that most unexpected detail
It is.
that becomes the winning ticket.
Absolutely.
It's about connecting the dots
Yeah.
in a way that resonates with your audience
Exactly.
and that requires research.
It does.
So it's about going beyond the obvious.
Yeah.
Looking for those unexpected details that can really make your copy stand out.
Absolutely. And sometimes that research leads you down a completely different path than you expected.
Right. Which
Which
is fun.
can result in even more creative and effective copy.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's fascinating.
it is.
Now, AWAI also mentioned something called a swipe file.
Yes,
Sounds very intriguing.
it is.
Can you tell us more about that?
It's essentially a collection of successful marketing materials.
Okay.
Ads, emails, websites,
Got it.
anything that you find inspiring or effective.
Okay.
It's like having a cheat sheet for writing great copy.
So it's about surrounding yourself with examples of what works
Yes,
and then analyzing those examples to understand why they're effective.
exactly.
Okay.
It's like studying the greats. You learn from their techniques and adapt those techniques to your own style.
That's a great way to learn and grow as a writer.
It is a great way.
Did AWAI offer any tips for creating or organizing a swipe file?
They recommend organizing it by industry,
Yep.
product type, or even specific copywriting techniques.
Okay.
That way you can easily find inspiration when you need it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like having this well-organized toolbox
Yes.
with the right tool for every writing challenge.
You got it.
I love that.
Yeah.
AWAI also talked about the importance of understanding your ideal client.
Yes. Your ideal client is crucial for attracting the right kind of projects and building a successful freelance business.
Makes sense.
When you understand their needs, you can tailor your messaging to resonate with them.
It's about finding those clients that are just a perfect fit. They are.
For your skills.
Yes.
Your interests.
And your interests, yes.
Which I imagine makes the work that much more enjoyable.
100%.
Did AIAI offer any guidance on actually identifying your ideal client?
They recommend thinking about the types of projects that you enjoy most,
Oh, okay.
the industries you're most passionate about, and the clients you'd love to work with.
Okay.
Once you have a clear picture of your ideal client, you can start targeting them specifically.
So it's about being really intentional
Yes.
with your marketing and your outreach efforts.
Be intentional, yes.
You got it. To attract those dream clients.
Those dream clients.
Work smarter, not harder,
Well,
right?
Work smarter, not harder, exactly.
Now, switching gears a bit,
Okay.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on something else that AWAI mentioned.
The importance of writing to different platforms.
Yes.
Because writing for a website is very different than writing for an email,
It is.
which is different from writing, say, a social media post.
Absolutely.
Each platform has its own nuances and best practices.
It does.
So did AWAI offer any specific tips for writing effective copy for different platforms?
They emphasize the importance of understanding the context
Okay.
in which people are consuming your copy.
Okay.
So, for example, social media is often about grabbing attention very quickly,
Right.
whereas email allows for a more conversational tone.
Okay. So it's about being mindful of where your copy is being seen
Exactly.
and who is seeing it.
And who's seeing it?
And always remembering to write with your audience in mind.
Always.
What are their interests?
Yes.
What are their pain points?
Their pain point.
What kind of language resonates with them?
Exactly.
It all comes back to knowing your audience
It does.
and crafting copy that speaks directly to them.
It all comes back to that.
Yeah. And that's one of the most important takeaways from the AWAI method.
It is.
Understanding your audience is crucial for writing effective copy.
100%.
That's a great point.
Yes.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on something else that AWAI emphasized,
Okay.
and that's the importance of headlines.
Headlines are huge.
They are huge.
They are your first impression.
They are.
They can make or break your copy.
And they can.
A strong headline grabs the reader's attention and makes them want to learn more.
Yes.
Right?
It's like the title of a book or a movie.
And it's
It needs to be captivating enough to make people want to open the book or buy a ticket.
Exactly.
But a weak headline, on the other hand, can cause your copy to be completely overlooked.
Absolutely.
So it's worth spending time crafting headlines that are both intriguing and informative.
100%.
Did AWAI offer any specific tips for writing effective headlines?
They recommend using strong verbs, highlighting benefits, and keeping them concise and to the point.
Okay.
Numbers and questions can also be effective attention grabbers.
Love it.
Yeah.
Those are great tips.
They are good ones.
Now, AWAI also talked about the importance of using storytelling
Yes.
in copywriting.
Storytelling.
Why are stories so effective in marketing?
Stories have the power to connect with us on an emotional level.
They do.
They make us feel something.
Yes.
Which makes them more memorable and persuasive.
It's like those campfire stories that stay with you
They do.
long after the fire is burned out.
They do.
Did AWAI offer any guidance on using storytelling effectively in copywriting?
They recommend choosing stories that are relevant to your audience and your message.
Okay.
The story should serve a purpose.
Okay.
It should either illustrate a point, build an emotional connection, or provide evidence to support your claims.
So it's not just about entertainment.
No.
It's about using stories strategically to enhance your message.
100%.
Okay.
Stories can be powerful tools for persuasion when used effectively.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on to the final part of our AWAI deep dive, I wanted to touch on something else they emphasized. And that is the importance of building a strong personal brand as a copywriter.
Huge.
Because in today's competitive market,
It's essential.
having a strong personal brand can make all the difference.
It really can.
It's about showcasing your unique skills,
Yes.
your experience, your personality
100%.
to stand out from the crowd.
You got it.
So it's about creating this memorable identity
Mm-hmm.
that sets you apart from other copywriters.
Exactly.
Did AWAI offer any specific tips on building a strong personal brand?
They recommend developing a niche, showcasing your personality in your writing, and building a strong online presence.
So it's about being yourself,
Yes.
but also being strategic about how you present yourself to the world.
It's a combination of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finding that balance between authenticity and professionalism.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think we are ready to tackle the final part of our AWAI deep dive.
Let's do it. They talk about the importance of testimonials, and you know how to incorporate those effectively.
Oh, yeah.
Because testimonials, when done right,
Yes.
can be so persuasive.
They really can.
Yeah.
Sometimes seeing that other people have had a positive experience with something
Sure.
can be that tipping point
Absolutely.
for a hesitant buyer.
Of course.
What makes a testimonial truly stand out?
So a really great testimonial goes beyond just saying, this product is great.
Okay.
It tells a story, showcases specific results, and feels relatable
Yes.
to the target audience.
It's like having a friend
Yeah,
recommend something that they love,
totally.
but just on a larger scale.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Right.
AWAI also mentioned selling to the heart, not the head.
Yes.
I can really see how testimonials play into that.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I am curious about something else that AWAI touched on,
Okay.
and that's structuring your copy effectively.
Okay.
They really broke down their promised picture-proof push model.
Right. It's a classic formula.
Yes,
For a reason. It works.
it does.
Grab their attention with a strong promise.
Yes.
You paint this vivid picture of the benefits,
Okay.
back it up with proofs, and then push them towards taking action.
It's like a roadmap,
Yeah.
guiding the reader towards that ultimate yes.
100%.
But it all starts with understanding your audience,
Always.
which is something that AWAI emphasizes throughout the course.
Right. Understanding your audience is paramount.
Yes.
Ask yourself, what are their pain points? What are their aspirations? What keeps them up at night? I like it.
And once you know what makes them tick,
Yes.
you can tailor your message to resonate with their deepest desires and needs.
So it's not just about demographics.
It's not just about demographics, no.
It's about getting inside their heads
Exactly.
and understanding what drives their decisions.
Yes.
I'm starting to see a recurring theme here.
Okay, what's that?
Empathy
Empathy.
seems to be at the heart of the AWAI method.
It is.
Would you agree with that?
100%. When you write with empathy,
Yeah.
you connect with your readers on a human level.
Yeah.
You're not just selling a product or service. You're offering a solution to a problem that they're facing.
That's powerful.
It is.
That's a really powerful way to approach copywriting.
It is.
Now, speaking of powerful, AWAI had some interesting things to say about writing strong calls to action. Yes, they are very important.
They are important. What advice did they offer?
So your call to action tells the reader exactly what you want them to do next.
Right.
Make it clear,
Okay.
concise, and impossible to ignore.
Got it.
Right?
It's like that final nudge to take action, that gentle but firm push towards the finish line.
It is.
Did they offer any specific strategies for writing effective calls to action?
They recommend using strong verbs, creating a sense of urgency,
Okay.
and highlighting the benefits of taking action.
I like it.
So, for example, instead of a generic learn more,
Okay.
you might say, claim your free trial today.
I like that much better.
Right.
It's clear, concise, and it creates a little bit of excitement.
It does.
Now, shifting gears a bit, AWAI also talked about the importance of building a successful freelance copywriting business.
Okay.
What advice did they offer for aspiring freelancers?
AWAI really stressed the importance of treating your freelance writing like a business, not just a hobby.
Okay.
And that means developing a strong portfolio, setting competitive rates, and marketing your services effectively.
It's about being professional, organized, and really treating your writing career as a legitimate business.
Exactly.
Did they offer any specific tips on finding clients or building that client base?
Networking is key.
It always is.
It is. AWAI recommends connecting with other writers and potential clients online and offline, attending industry events, and really just putting yourself out there.
So it's not just about being a great writer.
It's not just about being a great writer, no.
It's about building those relationships
It is about building relationships.
and making those connections that can lead to exciting opportunities.
100%.
I love that.
And when you do land those clients,
Yes.
IWAI really stresses the importance of providing exceptional customer service.
So it's about going above and beyond, exceeding expectations, and building those long-term relationships
Absolutely.
that are so crucial in the freelance world.
They are crucial.
And never underestimate the power of a referral.
Never.
Happy clients are your best source of new business.
They're your best ads.
They are.
Yes.
Now, before we move on, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier.
Sure.
And that was AWAI's emphasis on research.
Research is so important.
It's so important. They had that great anecdote about the copywriter who uncovered a key selling point for a veterinary equipment company just by researching the benefits of welding over screwing. How about that?
It's amazing, right? It's amazing. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's the power of digging deeper.
It is.
Uncovering those hidden gems that make your copy sing.
It's about going beyond the obvious, looking for those unexpected details that can really make your copy stand out.
Exactly. And sometimes that research, leads you down a completely different path than you expected.
Right.
But that can result in even more creative and effective copy.
Which is always fun when that happens.
Which is always a good thing.
That's fascinating.
Yes.
Now, AWAI also mentioned something called a swipe file.
They did.
It sounds very intriguing. Can you tell us more about that?
It's essentially a collection of successful marketing materials.
Okay, like what?
Ads, emails, websites.
Got it.
Anything that you find inspiring or effective.
Okay, so it's like having this cheat sheet for writing great copy.
Yeah, like a cheat sheet or, like a recipe book.
So it's about surrounding yourself with examples of what works.
Yes.
And then analyzing those examples to understand why they are effective.
And then you can kind of take inspiration from them and apply it to your own work.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great way to learn and grow as a writer.
It is.
Did AWAI offer any tips for creating or organizing a swipe file?
They recommend organizing your swipe file by industry product type or even specific copywriting techniques.
Okay.
That way you can easily find inspiration when you need it.
So it's like having this well-organized toolbox
It is.
with the right tool for every writing challenge.
You got it.
I love that.
It makes it a lot easier.
AWAI also talked about the importance of understanding your ideal client.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Knowing your ideal client is crucial
Okay.
for attracting the right kind of projects and building a successful freelance business.
Right, because when you understand their needs, you can tailor your messaging to resonate with them.
Exactly.
And it's about finding those clients who are a perfect fit for your skills and your interests,
Yes,
which makes the work that much more enjoyable.
it does.
Did NWAI offer any guidance on identifying your ideal client?
They recommend thinking about the types of projects that you enjoy most,
Okay.
the industries you're passionate about,
Got it.
and the clients that you'd love to work with.
Okay.
Once you have a clear picture of your ideal client.
Yes.
You can start targeting them specifically.
So it's about being intentional with your marketing and outreach efforts
Very intentional, yes.
to attract those dream clients.
Those dream clients, exactly.
Work smarter, not harder, right?
Work smarter, not harder.
I love it.
It's all about strategy.
Now, switching gears a bit,
Okay.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on something else AWAI mentioned, and that is the importance of writing to different platforms.
Yes,
Because writing for a website is very different than writing for an email,
it is.
which is different than, say, writing a social media post.
Very different.
Each platform has its own nuances and best practices.
Absolutely.
So did AWAI offer any specific tips for writing effective copy for all these different platforms?
They emphasize the importance of understanding the context in which people are consuming your copy.
Okay, so for example, social media is often about grabbing attention very, very quickly
Very quickly, yes.
versus email, which
Yeah.
allows for a more conversational tone.
Yes, much more conversational.
So it's about being mindful of where your copy is being seen
Yeah, Ed.
and who is seeing it.
It's all about your audience.
And always remembering to write with your audience in mind.
Always.
What are their interests?
What are their interests?
What are their pain points?
What are their pain points?
What kind of language resonates with them?
Right.
It all comes back to knowing your audience
It does.
and crafting copy that speaks directly to them.
100%.
And that is one of the most important takeaways from the AWAI method.
Absolutely.
Understanding your audience is crucial for writing effective copy.
Couldn't agree more.
That's a great point.
It's essential.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I am curious to hear your thoughts on something else AWAI emphasized, and that is the importance of headlines.
Headlines are so important.
They are so
They're your first impression.
They are.
And they can really make or break your copy.
And they can.
You know, a strong headline grabs the reader's attention.
Yes.
And it makes them want to learn more.
It's like the title of a book or a movie.
It is.
It needs to be captivating enough to make you want to open the book or buy that ticket.
Exactly.
But a weak headline, on the other hand, can cause your copy to be completely overlooked.
100%.
So it is worth spending the time crafting headlines that are both intriguing and informative.
Absolutely.
Did AWAI offer any specific tips for writing effective headlines?
They recommend using strong verbs, highlighting benefits,
Okay.
and keeping them concise and to the point.
Got it.
Numbers and questions can also be effective attention grabbers.
Love that.
Yes.
Those are some great tips.
Those are good ones.
Now, AWAI also talked about the importance of using storytelling in copywriting.
Yeah, storytelling can be so effective
Why is that?
because stories have the power to connect with us on an emotional level.
Okay, so it's not just about conveying information.
It's not just about information.
No. It's about making people feel something.
Exactly. And when you make people feel something,
Yes.
it becomes much more memorable
Okay.
and persuasive.
It's like those campfire stories that
That's it.
stay with you
Yes, they do.
long after the fire has burned out.
Absolutely.
Did AWAI offer any guidance on using storytelling effectively in copywriting?
They recommend choosing stories that are relevant to your audience and your message.
Okay.
The story should serve a purpose.
Okay.
So it should either illustrate a point, build an emotional connection, or provide evidence to support your claims.
So it's not just about entertainment.
No, it's not.
It's about using stories strategically to enhance your message.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
When used correctly, they can be very effective.
That's a great point.
Yes.
Now, before we move on to the final part of our AWAI deep dive, I wanted to touch on something else they emphasized,
Sure.
and that is the importance of building a strong personal brand as a copywriter.
Very important.
Because in today's competitive market,
It is so important.
having that strong personal brand can make all the difference.
It really can.
It's about showcasing your unique skills.
Yes.
You experience your personality
It's about what makes you you.
to stand out from the crowd.
Right.
So it's about creating this memorable identity that really sets you apart from other copywriters.
Absolutely.
Did AWI offer any specific tips on building a strong personal brand?
They recommend developing a niche, showcasing your personality in your writing,
Okay.
building a strong online presence.
So it's about being yourself, but also being strategic about how you present yourself to the world.
Exactly.
Finding that balance between authenticity and professionalism.
You got it.
That makes sense.
It does.
I think we are ready to tackle the final part of our AWAI deep dive.
Let's do it. So in this final part, AWAI dives into the world of online copywriting,
Okay.
which, as you know,
Yeah.
comes with a whole other set of rules and considerations.
It does, because it's a whole different ballgame than traditional print copywriting.
It is.
Readers online are bombarded with information.
Yes, they are.
They're scrolling, they're clicking, they're scanning.
They are.
So what did AWAI highlight as some of the biggest differences when writing for this online world?
Well, they stress the importance of brevity and clarity above all else.
Okay.
People online have short attention spans.
Yes.
They're looking to get information quickly.
Right.
AWAI recommends using short paragraphs,
Okay.
bullet points,
Yeah.
strong headlines to make your copy easily digestible.
Like you're serving up these bite-sized pieces of information
Exactly.
that are easy to consume kind of on the go.
Yeah, you got it.
Did they offer any other tips for capturing attention in this fast-paced world of online content?
Visuals are key.
Okay.
AWI really emphasizes incorporating high-quality images
Yes.
and videos that support your message
Yeah,
and really capture the reader's eye.
Because as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
That's right.
But I imagine it's also important to strike a balance.
Yes.
We don't want to overwhelm the reader with too many distractions either.
We don't want to overwhelm them.
Let
We
me-
want to
yeah.
keep them engaged, but not.
Right. It's about finding that sweet spot
Exactly.
between being visually appealing and maintaining that clarity.
Exactly.
Speaking of clarity, one thing I personally sometimes struggle with is writing really effective calls to action,
Okay.
especially online.
Right.
Did AWAI offer any guidance in this area?
They emphasize the importance of making those calls to action clear, concise, and impossible to miss.
Okay.
Use strong verbs that tell the reader exactly what you want them to do.
So instead of saying something vague like learn more, it would be better to say something like get your free guide now.
Get your free guide now. Exactly.
Okay. I like that much better.
It's specific. It's
Yeah.
clear.
Yes.
And it tells them exactly what they're going to get.
Be direct, be specific, and make it crystal clear what benefit they will receive by taking action.
100%.
Love it.
Yeah. AWAI also suggests, creating a sense of urgency,
Okay.
especially in the online world.
Makes sense.
Limited time offers or exclusive deals can be very effective.
It's that fear of missing out.
It is.
That can be a powerful motivator.
Absolutely.
Now, shifting gears a bit,
Okay.
AWAI also touched on the rise of artificial intelligence in copywriting,
They did.
which is a topic that's generating a lot of buzz these days.
A lot of us.
And maybe a little anxiety among us writers.
Maybe a little.
What's their take on AI's role in copywriting?
So they acknowledge that AI can be a really valuable tool for certain copywriting tasks, such
Okay.
as generating product descriptions or
Uh-huh.
social media captions.
Okay.
But they really emphasize that AI cannot replace the creativity,
Yeah.
the empathy,
Yes.
and strategic thinking that we bring to the table.
So it's not about AI versus humans.
Right.
It's more about AI augmenting our capabilities.
Exactly. AI can kind of handle those more mundane tasks,
Yes.
freeing us up to focus on strategy, creativity, building relationships with clients.
That is reassuring,
It should be.
because it sounds like the key is to embrace AI as a tool
Yeah.
that can enhance our work,
100%.
not replace us entirely.
That's right.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap things up, I wanted to circle back to one of the really core concepts of the AWAI method,
Okay.
and that's the power of empathy.
Yes. Empathy is at the heart of effective copywriting.
It really is.
When you understand your audience's needs, their desires, their pain points,
Yes.
you connect with them on a deeper level.
Right.
You build trust
Yes.
and ultimately persuade them to take action.
It's about putting yourself in their shoes,
Exactly.
seeing the world through their eyes,
Yeah.
and speaking directly to their hearts and minds.
That's 100%.
And when you can do that,
Yes.
when you write with empathy,
Yeah,
your copy becomes more than just words on a page.
it does.
It becomes this genuine attempt to connect with another human being
Yes.
and offer them something of value.
That's what it's all about.
And that, I think, is a beautiful way to approach this craft.
That's a beautiful thing.
AWAI has given us so much to think about today,
They have.
from practical techniques to really powerful mindsets.
Yes.
If there was one key takeaway for our listeners today, what would it be?
Write with empathy, clarity, and purpose. Know your audience inside and out. Understand their deepest desires and back up your claims with solid proof.
I love it.
And never underestimate the power of a well-crafted story.
Those are words to write by.
They are.
And for those who want to learn even more about the AWAI method and the incredible power of persuasive writing, There is a whole universe of resources out there waiting to be explored.
There is.
But for now, maybe it's time to step away from the notes.
Yes.
And start putting these principles into practice.
Absolutely.
Until next time, happy writing, everyone.
Happy writing.